Hi there, my name is Lan Wei, and this presentation is for ETHC3311. Today, we will discuss autonomous vehicles and their ethical challenges in Canada using a complete six-step ethical analysis. Self-driving cars are being tested across Canada right now. They can make roads safer and travel more convenient, but they also bring many serious ethical problems around jobs, privacy, and eco safety for all people. To analyze these issues step by step, let's take a quick look at our agenda before we begin. Multi-studies prove autonomous vehicles reduce traffic crashes and emissions, offer independent travel for seniors and disabled people, and also expand Canada's local tech industry with specific jobs and more tax revenue. However, many concerns remain. There are no nationwide rules for crash algorithms, leaving companies to set life or death standards alone. Besides, transport workers will lose their jobs in connected cars, bringing serious privacy leaks and hiking risks. After reviewing confliction arguments from studies, let's turn to real objective facts in Canada. Right now, only level 2 self-driving cars can run on the public roads. Canada lacks a single national ethical law for autonomous vehicles, and car companies collect too much personal information and data, even under the Person Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act. Major brands spend heavily on research but face expensive crash lawsuits. Still, many questions have no clear answers. We do not know who pays for self-driving cars accidents, and there's no plan for hacked cars, jobless drivers, or insurance rules. So based on all facts that we've covered, I made this table to show gains and losses for different stakeholders. As we can see, auto companies can earn more money, but they pay huge cost for research and accident lawsuits. Professional drivers get less tired on the road, yet they face losing their jobs, like I mentioned before. And third, car owners enjoy easier daily drives, but their private data will be hacked all the time. And fourth, governments see fewer traffic deaths, but they need to spend more money on rules and welfare. After reviewing stakeholders' pros and cons, let's look at the key ethical problems. The main issues are unclear crash safety rules and mass job loss for drivers with no government support. And we also face privacy leaks from car data hacking dangers and expensive self-driving cars that create unfair travel access. Alright, now let's talk about the three stakeholders' practical and moral values, plus their trade-offs. Auto and tech frames. Their practical goal is to make profits and launch cars quickly. Morally, they must protect public safety for all pedestrians. So the trade-off is fast business growth create bigger safety risks. And for the professional drivers, practically, they need stable full-time salaries. Morally, they deserve protection from sudden job loss. So the trade-off is society gains better transport efficiency at the cost of drivers' jobs. And for the ordinary car owners, practically, they want easy, safer, hands-free drivings. Morally, they had the right to private data privacy. So the trade-off in this case is convenient self-driving requires constant collection of their personal information. Okay, let's take a quick look of two more stakeholders here. For the pedestrian and cyclist, practically, they want safer roads without dangerous human driving. Morally, all people's lives should be treated equally. So the trade-off here is car algorithms built to protect drivers might put walkers and bike riders at risk. For the governments, practically, they hope to grow the economy and cut accident medical spending. Morally, they need to keep every citizen safe and help workers who lose their jobs. So the trade-off in this case is speeding up self-driving type development means the government has to spend more money on unemployed support. And here is our status quo, which means keeping Canada's current self-driving car rules. In the short term, the government does not need to spend extra money on the new rules, and the car company do not have to pay more fees. But we still lack unified safety rules for accident algorithms, and laid off drivers won't get any official support. For the long term, the local self-driving business can grow and bring in more tax money. However, workers will stay at risk. People's private data will keep being collected without limits, and the government has to spend more on the unemployment support over time. And this policy mainly supports industrial economic growth and gives auto companies more freedom to do research. On the other hand, it pays a little attention to protecting pedestrians equally, fair rights for transport workers, and people's data privacy. In terms of different stakeholders, auto and tech firms get bigger market profits as a main game. But there are clear losses. Professional drivers will lose their steady salaries. Pedestrian and car owners will face safety and privacy risks, and the government needs to bear higher welfare costs over time. Here is a simple summary for this evaluation slide. To evaluate the status quo, we can split it into moral results and hidden costs. Morally, keeping current rules creates unfair safety risks for pedestrians, offers no help to unemployed drivers, and lets car firms collect people's data without limits. There are no rules to fix these ethical problems. When it comes to costs, the government spends nearly nothing at first, but long-term hidden costs will keep growing, including welfare, medical bills, and lawsuit fees. Car companies save extra fees while all society has to take most losses. For resources needed, keeping the status quo does not ask for extra money, workers, or training. We just keep using the old regulatory system. But there are several limits. Financially, provinces face heavy long-term spending on welfare. Legally, loose self-driving rules go against Canada's privacy law. Also, different provinces have their own rules without the one unified national standard. And now, let's take a look at our first plan. Under this plan, the government removed most limits on self-driving cars. Companies can launch vehicles freely, and there's no government money to retrain laid-off drivers. Short-term good sides are fast industry growth and cheaper self-driving cars, but many transport workers lose jobs, and data privacy rules stay weak. In the long-term run, our tech industry will expand, and human mistakes in car crashes will drop. However, privacy risk will get worse, and rich and poor people will have very different access to self-driving transport. This plan puts company profits and tech innovation first, but ignores workers' job safety, pedestrian safety, and personal privacy. Auto firms and car owners benefit most, while professional drivers, low-income people, and workers suffer losses. Morally, it only slightly costs human-caused car deaths, but brings big ethical issues. Mass layoff treats workers unfairly. Weak data rules harm people, and low-income groups cannot access self-driving cars equally. In terms of cost, car firms save money on following rules, yet society faces huge long-term costs on welfare, high accidents, and privacy lawsuits. So the government barely needs extra staff or money to run this policy. However, it has clear drawbacks. Sharply rising unemployment pushes up government welfare spending. Loose data rules break Canada's privacy law, and there's no unified national safety standard across provinces. And now, let's take a look over a second plan. Strict restrictions on advanced self-driving cars. This plan sets tight nationwide rules to limit L3 and L4 self-driving cars on public roads. Short-term benefits. Transport workers keep their jobs and people get strong privacy. Pedestrian safety protection. But car companies face high rule following costs, making self-driving car more expensive for buyers. In the long-term run, we avoid tough life or die algorithm choices and lower hiking risks. However, Canada's auto tech will lag behind other countries, so we cannot greatly reduce human-caused traffic deaths. This policy prioritizes worker-friendly needs, road safety, and data security, while slowing industry growth and cheap self-driving transport. Drivers, workers, and privacy officials gains the most. Automakers and buyers looking for affordable self-driving cars lost out. And let's evaluate this strict restriction plan. Morally, this protects drivers' job, pedestrian, and people's data privacy, but holding back self-driving tech will keep causing preventable traffic deaths. For cost, car companies pay more on research and rules. Buyers face higher car prices, and the government spends heavily on safety checks. This policy also needs more inspectors and extra legal workers to carry out the tight rules. Besides, it has clear limits. Slower industry growth cuts government tax income, and too many limits clash with national manufacturing support plans. And strict checks make new car approval take much more longer. Let's look at alternative 3, the balanced middle ground policy. It sets unified safety rules, makes companies fund driver retraining, and protects data privacy without blocking industry growth. Short term, it avoids sudden mass layoffs and safeguards pedestrians, but the government needs extra money for worker support. Long term, it balances tech growth and fairness, greatly cut traffic deaths, and fully protects privacy. It only downsides is slower industry expansion than the full free market. This plan prioritizes economic growth, worker fairness, road safety, and data privacy. Only limiting car frames, short-term high profits. Almost all groups gain fairly, while automakers just bear small long-term complements costs. And next is evaluation. This plan brings the most balanced and fair ethical results among all choices. It solves the key ethical conflicts about crash algorithm and unemployment drivers and reduce transport inequality. For cost, governments pay mandatory short-term fees on rules and training. Car companies have affordable long-term complements costs, and society saves much more money on accidents and privacy losses later. We just need a national regulation team, stable training funds, and a unified data monitoring system. Its limits are narrow and easy to fix. Temporary government spending will be offset later. All rules fit Canada's laws, and small cross-privacy gaps can be solved with national standards. Lastly, our chosen plan is gradual tire balance regulation, the best solution. First, it fixes the downsides of extreme policies and fairly balanced every stakeholder's interest. It also satisfies three key ethical standards. Utilitarianism. It brings the greatest overall benefits to society by cutting traffic deaths and unemployment. Distributive justice. Car frames take part of transition cost to lower on-fire gaps. Right ethics. It equally protects the safety of all round users. This tie rule system follows Canada's laws, easing transition stress without holding back tech. And that's the end of my presentation today. Thank you.